Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Open Mic. As you know, I'm your host, Freestyle. I thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in to this week's episode. On today's show, I want to talk about the address that either some of us heard or watched last night with President Obama. We all know that as of last night's speech, that Obama is deploying 30,000 additional troops overseas to aid in the war on terror. Now, with already over 100,000 troops overseas, one has to ask, what is an additional 30,000 going to bring about? What's going to happen with these 30,000 additional troops going over there? With an economy that's already in dismay and us being in a recession, with a war that already costs us $5.2 million a year, it's almost as if how can we afford to continuously deploy more troops over there and continue this war when the economy is already in the depressed state that it's in. Now, I'm a firm believer in our president, Barack Obama. I stand behind him and his decisions 100%. However, I felt there were some questions that were unanswered last night. I know that he stated that he's going to try to start pulling the troops out in 2011 and everything, and that's great. I believe I heard 4,000 to 5,000. However, I feel that there were still questions left unanswered that we as Americans wanted and needed to know the answer to. As I was driving home last night, I heard on the radio several callers calling into this radio station expressing their opinions and or concerns about the decision that was made by President Obama. Some were, very excited that he was sending more troops over. There were a couple of inactive military men and women who called in that said that they would love to be over there with the troops. And then there were several distraught callers who were very upset, frustrated, and just, in disarray about this decision that was made. In particular, one woman called in. Her husband is a pastor and he does ministry over there in Iraq, and she's a pastor and lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And she called in and stated that she stands behind the president 100%. However, she was crying and in tears and just real hurt and by this decision because this means that her husband is going to stay over there longer. And she was just crying on the radio station, expressing her feelings like, why are there more troops going over? What is 30,000 going over to do that 100,000 plus can't do now? And so I just felt the need to do a video concerning this matter this week and get you, the viewers, your opinions, your comments and everything to see how you feel about these additional 30,000 troops going over, because this is another crucial decision that has been made regarding this war on terror. And as we just continue to stand behind our president and pray and hope for the best, we just look forward to a brighter tomorrow and everything, and pray that our troops come home safe, and pray that their families are all right, and for the ones that have been lost, our hearts and our prayers go out to them. And we just have to continue to wait and see what happens, and just hope for the best. I thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of Open Mic. I'm Freestyle. I'll let y'all next week. One.